as we delve the depths of the brain, the mind of Matthew Archbold. Matt Archbold joining us on this Thursday morning. Hey, Matt, how are you?
Dave, every day is a beautiful day.
Amen to that.
Limit it.
I hope you stay on your meds.
You know, behind your back, we call you Mr. Breeze.
For many reasons. But that's being one of them.
So what's new?
Not much. Just saying prayers for all those folks affected by that. I will say this is the first tragedy we've had in a while that seems nonpartisan, and I think that it doesn't seem like we're attacking each other over it.
That's
maybe
true.
maybe there's some silver lining to that, but everyone keep praying for the families. That's the worst. My gosh.
I mean, not far from you. I mean, that's not a long drive for you over to that neck of the woods.
Well, it's my daughter went just graduated from Catholic.
Oh wow!
Right there in D.C. So, and she said, she was in that park that overlooks. I mean, just about 100 yards from where it happened.
Wow!
So last night she was really giving us perspective on where everything was, and she said, there's a little park there right next to the airport that people literally just sit there and watch the planes coming in and taking off. It just, it's a sight to behold. All that traffic, coming in and taking off. It still is just amazing to watch planes take off, isn't it? I mean, just just the 8-year-old in all of us is just still pretty amazed by all of it, I think.
Well, and look, I think there's a lot to look at here. So for those of us who fly with some regularity, there's always that fear, even though this is the first accident since '09. So they happen with not very often at all when you think about all the flights taking off every single day. And yet there is an anxiety in all of us that we could be on that one plane.
Yeah.
But doesn't that feed into how we live our lives too, that we're always thinking about the thing that could happen, even though the probability is so low, but because it's happened at some point in the past, we're convinced it might happen during our lifetimes or even to us.
Yeah, especially if you flew in on the previous landing.
Oh, right, yeah.
But isn't that how life happens? You're going along, you're living your life, you think everything's fine, and then all of a sudden you get, there's an accident, there's an injury, there's a terrible diagnosis. We really have to be grateful for every day and take what God, gives us. And this doesn't diminish God's love for us. It's another way of seeing it. And that's how we have to look at it.
I determined early on in my walk with the Lord that I was not going to spend my entire life thinking about the one day in my life that I won't complete. Every other day I'll complete. Just one I won't. Now, from an eternal perspective, I will, but I guess I'm saying about worrying about it. You know what I mean? Like probability is I'm going to get this whole day. So let me do what I can with this day. If tomorrow is a half a day and I'm home, then that'll work out that way. I mean,
you just reminded me of a funny but crazy story. So my uncle, he was much older at the time. He's passed now, but he was a real character. And this was in the 70s, and he drove home, and I guess he had a few, and he crashed into a tree, and he woke up in the hospital. His wife was obviously very upset with him, and everyone was very upset with him. He wakes up, he sees his wife, and he says, "Oh, so I guess you're not going to say anything about the 117 trees that I missed."
He says that. Oh, my goodness. I just can't believe a relative of yours would be that witty.
Yeah,
that's fabulous.
So what is the deal with RFK?
Yeah.
So
this
guy, a couple of months ago, he admitted to finding a dead bear, putting it in his trunk, driving it to Central Park and dumping it. And now we have his cousin saying that he used to put mice and baby chickens in a blender. What is going on here?
Yeah.
It's all about the red dye number 4, man. As long as you're against that, you can, And he's like, hey, you put that bear thing. He said, yeah, but the red dye number 4. And then they said, well, weren't you completely against vaccine? Yeah, but remember the red dye number 4. No, but I did get to watch some of his exchange, and I have to say, we seem to be moving toward this idea that people just want common sense to prevail, and they're willing to overlook some other stuff as long as you'll kind of keep us on that trail of common sense in the area that you're going to be ministering to.
Absolutely. That's a great point. It was yesterday he said, abortion is always a tragedy. But then he's saying, his position all along has been that is that it should be a federally funded tragedy, which doesn't make sense.
No.
It's mind-boggling. But you are 100% right. As long as he fulfills his obligation to Trump, which he said he would fulfill Trump's life issues,
right?
And he goes, has anyone really taken a look at what we're ingesting and what we're taking in and all these vaccines? Because it seems to me that Big Pharma kind of has the run of the place. And, a guy as wacky as he is, but maybe it takes a guy that wacky to stand up to Big Pharma and the government. We can't always, pick the guy that's going to point these things out.
Well, and I was expecting, some crazy guy at these questionings, and he did pretty well, actually.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he did really, really well.
Surprised me. All right, Matt, thank you so much. Always great to catch up with you and find out what's going on.
God bless, guys. Thanks.
Have a good
Thank
one.
you, Matthew.